to the Retro Time Machine. Today we're going to be covering more of a retro remodel. So to me, every 1950s home must have had some sort of atomic TV tray. I know that in all the commercials and magazine ads and sitcoms of the mid-century modern era, you definitely see dining around the television being kind of a kitschy big deal. So I wanted to have some for my home. These were rescued from a garage at Facebook Marketplace, and I wanted to take these from more of a 1970s look into more of that traditional atomic mid-century modern 1950s and 1960s look. So this video is going to be a little bit about restoring these and keeping the character, but also making them a little bit more atomic.
So here we have these beautiful wood laminate and kind of a bronzy gold trays with this really cool stand that has wheels. I absolutely love the look, but like I said, it's a little bit more 70s than what my house has to offer. You can see they're a little grubby and they definitely need a good cleaning, and they're also pretty rusty from sitting in this garage. So we're gonna go through and fix some of that. We definitely have some issues relating to the structure of the trays too, but you can see here is some of that rust that we've got on the corners that we're gonna polish off and polish up. The legs definitely need some work, and we're missing some feet caps, so I had to measure and order some of those, and look, we've got a pretty gnarly wobble because of that, and they look a little warped and bent. They're definitely in need of a retro remodel. So for this project, we're gonna need some cleaning solution, steel wool, a clear coat, rub and buff in gold, a cloth, a glove, tape, and some retro decals. I've got a solution of Miss Meyer's basic cleaning solution and some water and vinegar, just lightly dampening the rag and going through and scrubbing all the who knows what kind of funk, old food, getting every nook and cranny and getting these clean and ready to take my steel wool to. So I'm just feeling for any roughness and any discoloration that I can get off with this steel wool, being very careful around that laminate, but just polishing it so it's nice and smooth, but leaving some of the patina so we have a cool old school effect. I don't want to get rid of all of it. Now it's time to tape everything off so we can protect our beautiful fake wood and get ready for our gold rub and buff. Ta-da! Now that we've got all of our trays taped off, we're gonna get our rub and buff ready and also get a little piece of cloth that we can use to polish. This product is absolutely amazing. You can see the great coverage I get on those rust spots, but also it's still leaving a little bit of character, which I absolutely love. It's a pretty quick process, but the fumes are there, so make sure you have a fan going and have some good airflow so you don't get too loopy while doing this. I've used rub and buff before on projects like you've seen, but I just love the coverage it gets. I mean, look how that absolutely disappears, and it gives a great shine, but it's not too overpowering like a paint would be. I absolutely love these old feet cap, but I could not find identical replacements, so I was able to find some online that are pretty snug fit. So I used a screwdriver and a lot of effort and got them on, and I'm just also painting those with rub and buff. It did take a couple coats because it didn't quite want to stick to the rubber, but in the end, it definitely was a seamless blend. For the metal stand, I decided to leave the plastic alone and protect that, but here you can really see from side to side the comparison and just the beautiful refurbishing that rub and buff gave. This part was extremely rusted on the bottom, and I wasn't sure how well it was going to cover, but it looks absolutely brand new. Watch, just with a couple swipes, all of that decoloring and rust disappeared, and we got a nice, brilliant glow going on. Once I was satisfied with how everything turned out on the edges, I decided to peel off the tape and give everything another good scrub down to remove any debris from the surface area that we may have got from sanding down the metal. So the decals come in small, medium, and large. I decided to use the large and small ones, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to do a large one in the center, a small one in the top corner, but I decided to use both after asking my Facebook friends. I went with the large one and I decided to put both the decals just a ½ inch from the bottom edge and the large one 5½ inches over. And then the smaller one, I did a ½ inch down from the top and 2½ inches over. And I'm just marking these with a silver watercolor pencil so that way it's easy to get off and easy for me to see. Now, in working with these decals, they can be a little tricky. I recommend having a small little plastic card and sometimes a safety pin to pull off the edges. You want to carefully remove the backing from your decal. I love the fact that it is still on a relatively clear piece of paper so you can really see where you're placing it. And I'm just lining it up with that bottom dot and top dot. You can reposition them a bit before you remove the paper, but just make sure you have it where you want it and then really press down on that decal. I recommend using, like I said, like something like a little credit card to really get those edges down so nothing wants to come up whenever you decide to finally peel up the backing. When you're removing the backing, start really carefully and make sure those teensy tiny edges are staying down and just work slowly over. You know, it's okay to push it back down if something starts to pop back up. That's also why I have the safety pin handy to get that corner started if I can't seem to get it off. But these decals came off perfectly. I love them. They work great to make anything atomic. I have them on some of my trash cans in my house just to make them a little bit more retro. Now I wanted to make sure I could clean these trays and that the decals would stay down, so I went back in with my clear coat and I just kind of did a cross hatch. I went one way and then the other and then let that dry, and then I would go back and do it the other direction, the opposite way. This just really made sure that it had a nice coating, and I did about 2 cans worth on all 4 trays, so I think it was like 6 or 7 coats. I just really wanted them to have nice shine and there to be no edge on where those decals were attached. Look at that nice glossy shine from the clear coat and how beautiful that metal is just glowing now. I did decide to alternate the pattern of the stars, so I did the stars on the left and the stars on the right for 2 trays. I just think that that frames the plates and glasses and silverwares in such a beautiful manner. I am absolutely so happy with how these turned out, and I think that this was such a fun and easy project just to make something a little bit more impactful. Alright guys, I hope you really enjoyed this video, and like always, take care and God bless.